2021, the Red Roses went a full year unbeaten. The Reds and Crusaders conquered their respective Super Rugbies, and Aroni Sow got a red card against Wales. However, in amongst the miracle recoveries to Alan Wynne-Jones and instant injuries to Alan Wynne-Jones, this was a year in which some rugby was played by some people. And in order to celebrate the best of those people, it's time once again for the almighty, the favourite, your favourite and mine, the Squidge Rugby Team of the Year. And today it's time to stand up on our tiptoes as we try to congratulate the long boys and stretchy gals of 2021. It's the best locks of the year. 2 years ago, I kind of cheated in this category. I selected Ibanez-Zabeth, but also called it kind of a win for South Africa's rotisserie of angry lampposts, Harjay Snyman, Lou Diego and Franco Mostert. And this year, I'm going to kind of cheat again, because really, this should go to Zoe Aldcroft. The England lock has been superb, played every game for the Red Roses on their unbeaten year, even captaining them in the final one against the USA. Every game she plays, she packs a knitted doll of Johnny Wilkinson her friend's Nan made for his good luck, and that little dropkick crochet has been working overtime, clearly. Aldcroft, unbelievable all year round in every facet of the game, going on to even win the 2021 Women's World Player of the Year. However, I'm cheating slightly. Instead of maybe Os Wellers, picking Aldcroft, I simply had to find room in the team for the one, the only, unless you count her identical twin sister, of course, in which case there's two, but I don't think that's relevant. Let's go back to the one and only Poppy Cleall. Poppy Cleall has probably been the best player in the world this year. Probably the most dominant at every level, competition, and frankly, position, of which she's played so many. She was sublime all over the pack last year, and this year she's gone up another gear somehow, becoming England's absolute standout star, especially with injury to Annalise Garrett. Cleall is one of the most powerful forwards in the game, whilst also being as technically sound and sharp at the breakdown as anyone. It was her try that proved decisive during the 10 Six Nations finale against France, and her efforts got Saracens into the Premier 15's final. She's played more of her international rugby at 8 this year, so it's a bit of a cheat, but there was no way I was ever making this team without Poppy Cleall. But also Zoe Aldcroft. I don't know how I can not include Zoe Aldcroft. Do I really need to pick one? Do I? Let's just move on. Imagine your lock stocks being so strong you don't miss Harjay Snyman. This has been an absolutely vintage year for Springbok locks once again. Lou Diego is one of the game's sharpest technicians, and Franco Mostert put in some career best form in this year's Lions series, playing with a composed yet utterly manic aggression that threatened to break 4 countries back apart. Yet imagine how good you've got to be to stand out amongst that lot, amongst that competition, because there was never any doubt that the standout lock, not just in South Africa, but world rugby right now, is Ibanez-Zabeth. Ibanez-Zabeth is what would happen if Charles Bronson was reincarnated as a giraffe made of granite. He's always the hardest man on the field, usually the most aggressive, and it's some time since I've seen him tip over into anything stupid. He now just plays smart. Zabeth was always good, but the last 2 years there's been a proper intelligence to the way he plays as well, complementing the athleticism and aggression he always had locked away. Ibanez-Zabeth is as good as locks got, and 2021 was as good as he's ever been, if not better. There's barely any words I can say to hype on further on how good Ibanez-Zabeth. He's just been really good. Ibanez-Zabeth's been really, really good. He's really good at rugby, really good at also rugby. Ibanez-Zabeth, really, really good. I've already mentioned Aldcroft and Mostert, but contenders of the second row position popped up everywhere. Maro Itoje was a very, very deserving Lions series player of the series, putting together maybe the best 3 games of his career on the trot, and that's really saying something. But he lost out on the spot thanks to a Six Nations where he gave away more pens than Santa Claus after he just robbed the Rymans. Canada and Saracens, Sophie de Goody split her time between the second and back rows, but was utterly spectacular wherever she played. A second row, who's an excellent type 5 forward, but can also kick goals from 45 metres. Now that's rugby. Tyke Byrne was incredibly close. Ireland's best performer in the Six Nations and a standout pre-tests for the Lions. His fate as only a runner-up was sealed, however, more by selection decisions than his own form. Fellow Islander Ian Henderson had a wonderful year as well, and 2 huge underdogs also deserve mentions. Spain's Manuel Mora is a marauder of a second row, a distinctive top-knot pirate commanding his way through Tier 2 rugby, and Clement Savadra was dynamite for Chile, a huge slab of human who nonetheless loved to score tries and slide through grubber kicks. Sam Whitelock had a solid year, but Tubbo Vai was the All Blacks lock that really impressed me this year. If he 3D he printed the ideal 2021 second row. You couldn't do much better than Vi. And his cross-Tasman young lock rival Darcy Swain stood out for the exact opposite reasons. I love Darcy Swain because I can't remember the last time I saw a guy who seemed so in love with being a second row. He's a guy who probably laid in bed at night as a kid dreaming not of scoring the winning try, but of disrupting an opposition maul. He loves it, and good God is he good at it. But speaking of disrupting opposition mauls, Adam Beard! Adam Beard, man. Adam Beard is a world-class rugby player, and yet we keep sleeping on him. No one's talking about him. At this point, I think Beard might be the most important, possibly even best player in the Welsh pack. He's an absolute nuisance to play against, but he has these inexplicably silky skills to go with the limbs like a deflating octopus. Alan Wynne-Jones was near his best at Six Nations as well, and excellent after his miracle recovery for the Lions, but Adam Beard is nowadays the lock, and maybe this is blasphemy, that Wales can lesser afford to lose. One more day to go. We're very almost there. One more. The back row, the big finale will be coming tomorrow. Alongside with it in that video will also be a referee of the year and a coach of the year. So who knows who they could possibly be and who could be the three in the back row. That's all coming very, very soon. If you miss any of the others, they're all up there, as well as lots of videos from the course of this year. And there'll be lots more coming very, very soon. Thank you very much, and I hope you've had a lovely... See you tomorrow for the back row.
Spoiler alert, they're all Welsh.
They're not.
I love biscuits. I absolutely love them. I couldn't like give one credit though, because I love a lot
You love
of
them all?
Yeah, like I'm thinking in my head now. I've got chocolate hobnob, bourbons, custard creams.
Oh yeah, you are a big fan.
Foxes, like selection boxes
Yeah.
at Christmas, like.